today from the artist that I was working with originally to start back up on my webcomic Brave Star. And if you have not ever, like, I got the chance to see that. So this is Brave Star. This is the comic book I started out a few years back, and due to me losing like work and everything like that, I had to put it on hold because obviously this costs money to make. But this is the Brave Star. It's a story about it's a story about Astra. Astra is a starfish, a humanoid starfish, and it's about her and her dream and wanting to like touch the actual stars, because being in an underwater kingdom, you see them at night, and she's always been intrigued by them since she was a little girl, so she wants to touch the stars. But what it really ends up being is her actually becoming her own star, believing in yourself, coming into the confidence to believe in yourself to achieve things. So that's what it's really about. And again, the main character, her name is Astra. This is her. Her name's Astra, last name Valiant. This is some of the artwork from the concepts that we got done to kind of showcase what each character would look like. So this is Astra. This is another character. But yeah, just really quick, that's what it is. It's an all age tale and adventure of chasing your dreams. It's pretty much like my my homage to my love for like Disney stories. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely what this would be, 100%. And I'm excited. This is one of the very first art pieces that I got done. This was done by Justin and Nison. It's a very hard last name to pronounce, but I liked it because he was a Sonic artist. He was doing Sonic art for comic book stuff. So I thought it would have been really cool to have an art style done by him, to have it look like a video game, because this has got all of my thoughts or my love, my feels for like the RPG, video game, the Disney aspects, if you will. So that's definitely what I was looking for when I was going with it. And I thought it would be really cool, but he unfortunately wasn't able to follow through with keeping up with it. So that's when I had to go out and find and look for different artists. But a lot of this concept art with this beautiful paint style was done by an artist I've known for quite some time now by the name of Leah Perone. She was phenomenal help in helping me get some of this stuff designed to kind of get a feel and a visual, because it's important to have those types of things as a writer, because I don't draw, right? And when approaching an art, because like having somebody do concept art is what you try to make sure you get the best vibe and feel for the world, the mood, the feel you want to create, right? And you have that, so when you approach the artist that's going to draw your comic book or is going to draw your work or present your work, they already can get a sense of it, and then they can kind of take this and remix it with their vision. And that's where you got to really be like mindful in who you pick that's going to work with you on your stuff, because you don't want to get somebody that's heavily Rick and Morty art style, right? And you're going for a Disney look. You want to find somebody that can do a Disney look. You don't want to go for something Disney if you want something like that's an anime style. And a lot of times, more often than not, that's what a lot of people do, is they'll find somebody that the first artist they could find, and they'll say, hey, I got this stuff I want you to do, but I want you to do it like this. That's not how it works in the art world. They know every artist hates that, no matter if they take the paycheck or not. But yeah, that's what's important about that. But yeah, these are little character profiles for the characters. Astra, Leo, he is the prince. The world is set here in an underwater sea kingdom, very RPG-esque. Yeah, I love Astra's design. I loved it from the moment I thought of it. I had some help from two of my friend artists at the time. They helped me kind of bring it to life, but it was cool. Yeah, so Astra, Leo, Syrah. Syrah is the adopted older sister of Astra. Leo is the prince of the kingdom. The kingdom is called Coralot, like Camelot, but Coralot. So it's loosely based on some Arthurian, loosely built off of some Arthurian lore. And then you have Johann. Johann is the love interest of Syrah, friend of the family. He's the love interest of Syrah. He's the blacksmith. Leo, he's a sea lion. He's a sea lion because of his father. Because they're, kings, lions. So I made him a sea lion. And then Johann is the blacksmith, but he's a swordfish. So it's almost like pretty like on some Zoro type stuff from One Piece. Like he can fight with two swords or two weapons, but still use his nose sparingly though, because it can still get, it can, you don't want to get it. And then Alask is the the main villain that would be confronted in the story, mainly for the purpose of the message, the lore, the theme, and what he represents. But it is Alask the King Crab. Fun fact, I chose him as the main big bad because he's the Alaskan king crabs are the #1 predator to starfish. Yeah, there are 3. There is the Alaskan king crab, then there are sharks, and then there are jellyfish. I mean, a starfish, believe it or not. Starfish versus starfish, that's a thing that they, So I wanted to do those. And then this one, if you don't, I'm pretty sure people have seen some artwork of his, or they've seen him around on the internet. His name is Nicholas Draper Ivy. He's drawn Black Final Fantasy VII. He's drawn Bleach as black characters. The Gotei 13, I believe, is what they're called. He's drawn Samurai Star Wars. He's done a lot of, he's doing Static Shock's comic book run right now. Phenomenal artist, great talent. I was able to get this commission of Astra from him, and I love it. It looks amazing, and he did all of his stuff on actual physical board with pen, colors, all of that stuff. And I don't know where it is. I think I lost it a while back, but he sent me the actual physical, because you could pay for that. Which I thought, yeah, he did a really good job with her. He took a lot of liberties with her colors. But yeah, I thought about, because I'm like, yeah. So one of the funny thing is about this story, when I was first trying to get it out there and talk about it and pitch it to people, a lot of the people, when they saw some of the concept art, because mainly they work as a family in a family bakery, a family-owned bakery, and they're like, it's a bakery underwater. That's dumb. And I'm like, really? Because isn't SpongeBob a fry cook underwater? I don't see anybody complaining about that. And a lot of people were like, touche. I'm like, yeah, think before you speak. And plus, it's a magical fantasy story and adventure. It does not have to apply to the rules. Only certain stories are like that when you build it that way. If you build it with a sense of realism in it, then it has to have certain rules. I'm not saying that she could jump out of the water and breathe in fresh air without causing any issues, But yeah, I was just announcing that I finally got the green light to pick back up on production for this, which I'm excited for, because I didn't think I would be able to get back into doing comic book work, because that's what started most of my creative journey, was doing comic book work. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really dope, really cool. I think I'll release, if I can set it up properly to where I can do it right, I'll set it up to where the pages can release there first, and then I'll release it to the other sites as well. But then I also want to make sure I have everything set up that I need to for the voiceover project for the story too, which is what I'm really excited about doing next. I think that'll be a lot of fun as well. So yeah, I've got from now till March 1st to get my affairs in order, make sure I get my script, make sure I get the right version of the script, because there's a lot of them I got saved. I got to find the current one. I got to make sure I refine it, make sure everything's good there. Then once I get that done, I gotta make sure I want to make sure the story is still cohesive and consistent, because I might change some things around. Because one of the biggest issues I had with Infinite the Journey when I did that book was chapters 1 through 4. As far as story goes, there wasn't much to deal with the main course of the story. Chapter 1 kicked off the main story and everything, right? Chapters 2, 3, and 4 were basically all about introducing the Guardians. It was introducing Anai. It was introducing the leader of the Guardians, which is Zathor. It was actually, I think I still. So yeah, chapter 1 was pretty much, introducing the main character, Kyo Shinsei. We got him introduced, the main villain and his motivation on what he was trying to do. And basically this doesn't pick back up with any true meaning until chapter 5. So one of the biggest mistakes I feel like I made was I focused on trying to give flesh and life in 3D dimension, 3 dimensionals, or more dimension, more depth. more depth to the characters, giving you a reason to care, to like them, to see a bit of their personality. In reality, I don't think I did too bad with it, but I felt like I could have narrowed this down to maybe 2 chapters at least. That way I could have had more time with his story and then building up to him going on his first adventure, because this is the inciting incident, you know, living my normal life, and then boom, poop hits the fan. And then the threshold, crossing that threshold into the new world. Or I could have played around with him rejecting going into the new world and trying to go back to his normal life, and then realizing he couldn't, and he had to make a decision and then go into that. So there's a lot of different ways I could have went about it, but I didn't, because I fell in love with my Guardian characters too. Like, these are all important characters to me. They all have a role to play, but the story is really about KO, the main character, KO himself, regardless, 100% all time, every time, all time. But yeah, these 3 were basically focused on him meeting and interacting with them, and you as the viewer meeting them with the same time he did. But I feel like I could have narrowed this down, because this was like, I think, the shortest chapter. This was a big chapter. This was the chapter where everything changed because the artist Beardorado separated herself from the project. I still don't know what happened to her. Last I remember, she was doing better, but she was losing sight in her eye, and she had a lot of physical problems with her hand. So my best guess is that she just called it quits and said, I'm done, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Yes, it's unprofessional to just up and leave in the middle of a project, but your health comes first, and I would have understood. It's just unfortunate. So yeah, but I could have knocked those out in 2, and then I could have got back into this, because right after this happens, it carries on into him going onto his own journey, because the whole point of this is you deny wanting to become a Guardian. Now you have no choice but to become a Guardian, and by doing so, we don't have time to sit around and go through the whole training arc where we guide you as the person that guides you, right? We're the ones that are gonna be out there trying to find this guy that's trying to kill you and everything else in the world, and try to stop him. So while we're doing that and focusing on that, where he may potentially target you, you're gonna go off and see if you can do this Guardian stuff on your own. Make your way, make your journey, be infinite, which is what I like differently, because most stories you have that person that's the old wisdom, old way, they have either a friend automatically from the get-go with them, or the rival, or whatever. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun writing it. It's crazy how much of a transformation it took too, because the original vision was where this story was going to take place in 2 different worlds. It was going to take place in the fantasy world and the real world, where they were going to be kind of like blended and meshed. And I've tinkered around with the idea of going back and rewriting it all, or doing like a one-shot, like a self-contained 20-page, 30-page story of the what if, just so I can kind of finally see it, that vision come to life too. I think that'd be dope to have the dual visions. But yeah, man, all 7 chapters. These are all introductions. This picks back up on the story, the last 3. So out of 4, all about the main character, which I could have had 2 introductions, interactions with the main character, got that out the way, and then had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 chapters be about the main character and his story. That could have been really solid. But it didn't do bad though. It did not do bad. I will never say it did bad when I when it had its run. 1.1, I had over 1,200 subscribers reading it weekly, monthly, you name it, right? And we had over 72,000 views. And that was with everything I could do. And I was doing this on a part-time budget too, man. Boy. 54 episodes. 54 different posts. And that started in 2014. You see that? 14 was the first time I posted something. And then that's when I actually posted the first of the actual pages.